think you're close enough.
そんなことないです。遠いです。
She got up once and fixed her seat leaning right by my arm.
近くなりました。えへへ。
I'll be frank, but you're drunk.
酔ってなんかないです。
People who are drunk say that. And she immediately stared at me close by.
ともやくん、どうしてそんなに動揺してるんですか？ともやくん、こうしていてほしいだけです。
Yeah, sure.
よかったです。えへへ。
Welcome back to Let's Play Higurashi Onikakushi. Bit of delay on it opening up now. We're at the finale of this, but I think we will have a little interlude, or whatever you'd call this. I figured this out the other day, and I felt like playing it, because I like it. Okay, I have to fricking sit away from the fricking desk, because there's no room because of my fan. If you don't recognize that, it's Machine Dramon's theme from Digimon Worlds. You know, when he faced the final boss, Machine Dramon. I'd always wondered how that, I never was able to figure it out. It's in E minor, G major, and I didn't know the interval. Once I get the interval, the first interval, I find it easy. It's just it starts off E, D, E, then it's G, F sharp. Once you figure that out, it suddenly becomes easy to figure out, and the other bit's kind of E, A, B, is it? Nope. Yeah, goes from B to E after that. Then C. It's easy to figure out once you've got the first interval. This other track from Eva the Search for Eden, that main theme, I randomly figured out. It's a 6 interval where it's just once you get that first interval going, easy to figure stuff out. But to keep it, to get back on topic here, shit, how did it go? That was part of a theme that actually will appear in the answer arcs. So I looked up the soundtrack for the series, or rather I just saw an article of it on Wikipedia a while back, and it points out that it's actually fan-made, so technically there wasn't any original soundtrack. It was just the question arc seemed to have just been public domain music, and the answer arcs are fan-made kind of tracks or something, I don't know. But anyways, you ready for the finale? The grand finale. I'm not. Okay, word of the day. How about 10. Dictionary. Ha! Fitting. You know what, I've actually started memorizing a few kanji characters, but, you know, that's got nothing to do with this, has it? It's kind of odd, because they're like words. They're like indications of words. It's weird. It's like this one character that just literally means person, but it can apply to, like, pretty much anything that's to do with a person, essentially. So, like, not gender specific, I don't think, because there is one for male and female. Wind was another one that I found interesting, like kanji characters for it. Like, look through my dictionary to confirm if it appears in other types of forms. Like, it'd be like wind, breeze, storm, stuff like that. I'm not sure about storm, but it definitely appeared in both wind and breeze. I think it appeared in another one as well. And cold, I think, as well, it also did. It's like there's a connecting theme with the characters. They actually make sense, but man, are they confusing. Let's get back to the plot. A familiar ceiling, the smell of a bed and pillows. I knew them well. Was this my room in St. Nature? Playing on a piano. I don't know the strings. I should really, like, at some point, preferably not while recording, just sit down, listen to this music, and figure it out on my keyboard. I mean, I've technically figured out the piano melody. But, you know, the strings, it's in the bass there, really, isn't it? It's just giving it that movement, and I haven't figured that bit out. Normally there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. You know, in the previous part, he got knocked out, right? So why is this peaceful music playing? When I did that, pain shot throughout my entire body.
Feeling alright? I think you'd better just lie down for a bit.
Why was Rena in my room? Just like, last we saw Rena, she had a freaking axe and that, like, demented look in her face. And, like, now she's here, seemingly her usual self. But still, after that, we got this peaceful, lovely music. Blood began to surge through my muscles and my capillaries. But Rena's smile belonged to the Rena I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I relaxed thinking that this version of Rena was safe. Why am I?
Don't you remember?
After losing consciousness, nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I could ever have imagined. You know what? Lethargic. I know it's a term for, you know, sluggish, lazy and all that. Let's see if we got in here. Probably is. Or maybe not. Lethargic. Wait, no, it could be. Nope. How about lazy then? A lazy person, namaki mono. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's so weird. I've like looked through this dictionary as well as like going over my course so much now that I've pretty much memorized every hiragana character, so I don't even need to look at my notes just to recognize the hiragana. I just like, oh, casually, just be like, oh, Shima, that's island. Just browse through. Seirin, retirement age. Yoshi, adopted child, foster child. Nakayoshi, friends. Like Nakayoshi. Oh, you tell me there are other words for friend in Japanese? Like, I was like, oh yeah, there's the other one, nakama, friend at work. But nakayoshi seems to just be friend, but I know tomodachi means friend as well. Or maybe it means friends. It's weird. Yeah. Well, it's not really when you think about it. English has the same thing where we have a bunch of words that essentially have the same meaning, but they're there anyway. I guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. I tried to at least clear my head, but I just couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind.
I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you'd better just lie down until then.
I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, but knowing that someone in Marshall was coming was slightly reassuring. Oh, why am I here? I'm sure I was at the dam site.
That's what I want to know. What happened? When I got there, Keiichi-kun was already passed out.
That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by those weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. Recalling that memory and the terror that went along with it caused the fogginess around my head to clear right up. It's just like, it's just like, oh shit, that shit happened! Let's forget about those two for now. I didn't expect Rena to be nursing me. Yeah, he's forgot all about that. It's like, this is alright, yeah, this is, yeah, and then Rena's like, oh shit, Rena had that accent, oh my god, I thought Rena was trying to kill me. She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Good points. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing you could drag me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Rena's delicate frame, it was hard to believe that she had not only gotten me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some help?
Don't you remember, Keiichi-kun?
Well, of course he doesn't. He was locked up all the time. Rena appeared a bit surprised, but still kept her smile.
I only propped you on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. You don't remember?
I didn't remember. My memory was fuzzy after the point where I lost consciousness. What about those two?
Huh?
When you got there, Rena, the ones with me, or rather, those two guys.
There wasn't anyone.
She said it bluntly. The way she stated it felt slightly unpleasant. I was just too timid at that time. I might have been able to force some answers out of Rena. If I did that, then this kind Rena might transform into the scary Rena who I didn't know. And that's not exactly what you'd want, especially in your current predicament. Fearing that, I didn't press any further. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both of those men were there, I don't think Rena would even have stood a chance. I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assumed she brought me here after those two were already gone. Rena was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something. Something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. That small omen sent shivers down my spine. While Rena was still Rena, I needed to make contact. I needed to contact Ooishi's hand. Rena stopped me when I tried to get out of bed. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I could sleep. I'd like to go to the bathroom, though.
Sorry.
Rena couldn't say anything else. Man's gotta take a piss. While Rena stayed in the room, I quickly went downstairs to get the phone receiver in the living room. Oh, damn Higurashi! When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Ding-a-dong. It must be in the doctor, Rena had called. It was strange for a patient to welcome in a doctor who was making a house call. But it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable time it would take Ooishi for them to get here. I carefully opened the door with that simple assumption and regretted it almost instantly. Mion? Oh, you look just fine. I heard you collapse, so I came to check up on you. How do you know I collapsed? Heard from Rena over the phone. Do I need any reason other than that? My God. Think about this, viewers. Think about this. Not the fact that Mion's just shown up by his house, but think about it. Just freaking like 1984 the story takes place in a freaking rural Japanese village, no less. 1984, and they have freaking phones. Oh wait, no, not mobile phones. Yeah, just like that would be even more absurd. But I was just like thinking there, just like back to Tomoya from Clannad, where he's like, oh my God, a mobile phone. That's definitely, they obviously use house phones. But still sounds more advanced than whatever Tomoya had. Saying that though, I've got a freaking old ass phone, so I'm not one to talk. While everyone's like got their smartphones, I remember like with my guitar tutor, like asked me if I've got like metronome app because it just like helped me with my timing. It's like my phone, it's a bit on the oldish side, a bit on the doesn't do the whole apps thing, doesn't do the touchscreen stuff. It's old. It's like, man, Jesus Christ, now I think about it, it really is. Be like freaking what? 7 years I've had that phone now. It's freaking ancient. So yeah, whatever. My mistake, I understood why she would call a doctor. But why Mion too? Rena was descending the stairs behind me. Rena, doesn't Keiichi look pretty alright? She made me worry for nothing.
That's true. Maybe I worried for nothing as well.
They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a darkness looming over them.
Well, what's up with the shoe rack? How did it get like this?
Did his parents even come home yet? Did they say they'd be back in the evening the next day, or like in 2 days or something? I can't remember. The shoe rack that I'd smashed to pieces has been like that since yesterday. I fell, you see, and the bat I was holding at the time slammed into it.
This is what happens when you swing around something you're not used to handling.
I kept the fact that it was none of their business to myself.
But leaving it like this will really startle your parents when they get home. I'll fix it up for you later.
Now come on, Kei-chan, the terminally ill need their rest. Come, back in bed. Both of them urged me up the stairs. Had no chance to call Ooishi. I was pushed into my bed. This could be taken out of context, couldn't it? It's just like, oh yeah, 2 of his female friends came over and nursed him and they pushed him into the bed. As it was the first time Mion had been in my room, she began searching around it intently. The nosy type, are we? She filled around my room and was scolded by Rena. You can imagine how it went. It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. During that innocent conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary.
Rena, did you call the manager? Yep, right after I called Mii-chan. He said he'd be right over.
Manager? That out of place word gave me a bad feeling. Rena called a doctor, then called Mion. And after that, she called a manager. Who was this manager? Since Rena and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, it only felt slightly odd. What are you two talking about? Who's this manager?
Didn't you know, Kei-chan? We mean the manager when we say manager. Like the director of a movie, or like a foreman of a construction site.
But I dug through all of my memories for a manager who might have business with me. Well, only one thing came to mind. What Rena had just said. The construction site foreman. A very first victim of the first incident. Dismemberment of the dam construction site. Foreman? But that was strange. He was supposed to be dead. There was no way they could call him. That's just some voodoo shit. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. What does that manager have to do with me? He said he was coming. You mean to my house? I asked one obvious question after another. But all the two of them did was smile coolly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how my suspicions were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort and panic welling up inside me. I couldn't understand what Rena and Mion were talking about.
Keiichi, you've gotten into baseball lately, haven't you? Pretty sure the manager will be happy to hear that.
So who is this manager?
The manager's the manager.
So who's its manager? Rena and Mion looked at each other and laughed heartily. A disturbing cackle unpoisonably sounded around me. That laugh, long enough to be unsettling, ended abruptly.
Oh yeah, we should finish up before the manager comes. You remember, don't you, Keiichi?
Her face was laughing, but Mion's eyes told a different story. Remember what?
Keiichi-kun, had he forgotten, I wonder? Keiichi-kun, had he forgotten, I wonder? About the penalty. About the penalty. Did you really forget? The homework with Mochi. The homework where you were supposed to guess which one Rena made. You forgot about that homework, didn't you?
Yeah, this whole scene... Think about, like, what happened in the previous parts. Where he pretty much was just like, went up to Mion and said, well, Mion came up to him and he pretty much just like, you guys are not my friends anymore, fuck off. But they're pretty much, you know, just like acting like nothing even happened here. I certainly did have that homework, but I burned away the rest of the mochi after I found that sewing needle. So I wasn't able to answer which one Rena made. The penalty for what? That. Why now? No doubt my question was written all over my face. Their answer to my question was not dry laughter. I could no longer make heads or tails of anything. I began to think that this entire day was somehow insane, strange, incomprehensible. Being chased by Rena, attacked by strange men. Apparently Mion and Rena were talking about. What are those two laughing at? My stupid voice? I don't know. I didn't take that long for me to realize I had been dragged into a normal situation. Who were these two? Who were these people? Who were these doppelgangers of Rena and Mion? Yes, that face. Should have gotten behind me at some point. I was keeping my arms behind my back. What are you doing?
Don't move, this is your penalty.
My body was already very sluggish, and Rena pinning my arms made it that much harder to move. I tried to struggle, but she wouldn't even budge. My panic began to well up, and I realized this was well beyond the realm of jokes and pleasantries. This freakishly monstrous strength would have been impossible for the Rena that I knew. What bullshit, man. You remember those moments where she goes to cute mode? She's an unstoppable force in that. Granted, she's not really, technically in that mode now, but... And then these thin, frail arms grasped me firmly. Whose arms were they?
Keiichi, no struggling. Club rules. There are no exceptions. You can't fight against the penalty.
Mion, no. The thing that looked like Mion spoke to me like how Mion would speak to me. But I was certain that this was not Mion. Someone who wasn't Mion. Someone who was just pretending to be Mion. A cosplayer, perhaps.
Need to finish this up before the manager comes.
Mion fished into her pocket and pulled out something bizarre. I could tell that it was just what it was by looking, but for such a thing to be in her pocket, my mind wouldn't accept it. What is that? It was small. It was a small, clear syringe, like what a doctor would use when you went to him when you were sick. Rena held me even tighter, and I could hear that clattering laughter that no longer sounded like laughter blaring into my ear. That eerie laughter. It wasn't something that the Rena I knew could ever produce from her own throat. This thing that pretended to be Rena was this, their real laugh. Unable to defend myself, the syringe Mion was holding drew closer, and that needle tip was waved in front of my face countless times.
Don't worry, it won't hurt,
What are you planning on doing? What kind of sick joke is this?
What are you saying, kid-chan? You know exactly what's going on, don't you?
About what? I don't understand any of this at all. My hammy voice acting.
I know you know. No use playing the fool this late in the game.
Stop talking nonsense to try and confuse me. He's already confused enough, you know.
You're gonna have to run to you what happened to Tomitaki-san.
Oh, shit. What? Same as Tomitaki-san? I didn't really understand what she meant. What did that have to do with the syringe?
You're playing dumb, Keiichi-kun. You should have realized it by now.
Wait, should know by now that
Kei-chan
is, that's the way Mion refers to him. Keiichi-kun is the way that Rena refers to him as, so.
You're playing dumb, Keiichi-kun. You should have realized it by now.
Rena whispered into my ear, laughing as if to admonish me. But even the way she spoke was repulsive beyond compare. Playing dumb? Me? About what? What do you mean, the same as Tomitaki-san? Everyone thought at first that it was a hit and run, except when the officer got closer to check if he was still alive. Soon noticed it wasn't a normal situation. His throat was scratched out. From a knife or something? No, nails. Nails? Nails as in fingernails. Who the hell is talking here? Are those thoughts through? Is it just dialogue from back with that conversation with Ooishi? Probably. That's right. Tomitaki-san clawed out his own throat with his own nails and died. There's no way someone could die like that. So then, for that to happen... I thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. That's right. The police didn't find any drugs in Tomitaki-san's system. Police told me they didn't find any drugs in Tomitaki-san's body. The two of them laughed together with that sickening laugh. Oh, it's absolutely repulsive, that laugh, isn't it? Imagine if it actually sounded like that. Of course they'd laugh. Assume that such a medicine didn't exist just because the police didn't know about it. It's completely foolish. Meaning the drug that caused Tomitaki-san to die in such a bizarre manner did exist. If Mion injected this into me, then that would probably be all the proof I needed. That would basically mean I'd end up the same as Tomitaki-san. Become hysterical, scratching out my throat in my last moments, then die. Such an outrageous drug to exist. For Mion to be holding it. And that I was about to be injected with it. At that moment I did not feel there was any need whatsoever to question it. What kind of idiot, when he's trying to dodge a ball flying straight for his face, has time to think of a reason as to why it's flying at him? Good point.
Just give up. All right, then.
Mion lashed and lacked any gravitas, and that limit. ceremony like when someone is sentenced to death. There was no hesitation at all, as if she were brushing her teeth. Mion reached out with one hand and grabbed onto my chest. You know, a backup environment here, Keiichi. You gave that example with the ball. So how the fuck are you able to think so much within this time frame? I mean, it happens all the time in novels. If you ever, like, pay attention. You just, like, have the protagonist be like, oh, I thought this and that and this and that and this and that. Time-wise, 5 seconds have passed. Just like, what the fuck? Oh, heck. I was just like... I remember freaking watching Naruto years ago, and, like, the anime did that fight between, Richimaru, I think it was, and... Was it the third Okage, I think it was? And like the final battle when they're battling, but there was at the same time focusing on Naruto battling as well. So they just like had to put in this filler just as if to remind you, just like, yeah, this battle's still ongoing. And it'd be the same reused animation over and over again. And they'll change the dialogue a bit, but it's the same bloody scene. And it's like, I will defeat you. It's just like, you're taking your sweet ass time about it. I mean, this is freaking slower than a Dragon Ball Z fight, man. Just like, heck, at least they have more animation than that. Use a different animation. Just like using the same thing. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, how do you have so much time to just spout all this bots or think all this shit, and yet, like, realistically, only a little bit of time has passed? Makes no sense. It felt like electricity had run through the back of my head and the entire world had gone dark. Did I stand up too fast? Well, you'd be dizzy. Or did someone hit me really hard in the back of the head? Having lost my sense of balance, I was assaulted by a wave of dizziness. I guess so, then. Higurashi when they cry, 7th expansion presents. Welcome to Hinamitawa when they cry. To the grand finale of Onikakushi.